Oh no, don't buy that whole we need to separate temporarily. Let's just separate. No, 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 no. You're married. There's no separations. She's asking to separate. She's asking to go sleep with other men or date other men. Trust me. Trust me. If anyone remembers my story I told years ago, probably 2019, how I met a woman, beautiful woman. She was gorgeous. Got her number, but right before I was going to leave, she told me, I do want to tell you that I'm married, but I'm separated. Completely turned me off. Everything started playing in my head. She could be lying. I end up at her house. Husband walks in. I'm in his home. He walks in and he defends his home, if you know what I mean. Catches her out. Anything. I did not waste my time. There's way too many women out here. He's married. You need to deal with that situation. But most men don't care. Most guys don't care. I'm telling you guys, it's not worth it. She said she needed to find herself. Turns out she was already found by a guy from Instagram. Dear true story, I'll be honest, I never thought I'd be writing into your channel. I found you while mindlessly scrolling through YouTube one night after signing the final divorce papers. My recommended feed showed a video titled, She Wanted a Break, but he found out she was already with someone else. That title punched me right in the chest. It felt like someone put my entire situation into a few words. I watched it, then another, then another. That whole night I was just nodding like, yep, that's me. So here I am. My name is Aries, and this is my story. I was married to a woman named Myra. We were together for 7 years, married for 4. I thought she was the love of my life. Spoiler alert, she wasn't, but let me give you the full picture. How we met. Myra and I met at a mutual friend's housewarming party back in 2016. She was the kind of woman who lit up the room, not just because she was beautiful, but because she had this carefree energy about her. She was funny, quick-witted, and had a confidence I admired. We talked all night at that party. She was working in digital marketing at the time, and I was just getting my career going in financial analysis. We were both ambitious, driven, and honestly clicked instantly. We started dating not long after that. Those early days were full of long drives, deep talks, and dreams about our future. We had plans to build a family, maybe move out of the city one day and get a house with a garden. It all felt like it was unfolding perfectly. We got married in the fall of 2019. That wedding was the happiest day of my life. My boys teased me because I cried during the vows. I meant every word I said to her. I was all in. The first signs. You know how they say hindsight is 20/20ths? Looking back, I saw the first red flags around late 2022. Myra started talking a lot about finding herself. She'd say things like, I just feel like I lost who I was, or I need to figure out what makes me happy outside of us. At first, I took it seriously. I supported her. I told her maybe she needed time for herself. Go do a yoga retreat, start journaling, talk to a therapist. But then she hit me with the temporary break idea. She said, I think we should take some space. I still love you, but I need to know who I am outside of being your wife. That hit me like a freight train. I asked her straight up, is there someone else? She looked me in the eye and said, no, I just need time for me. I'm not trying to break us. I'm trying to save us. I wanted to believe her. I really did. So like an idiot, I agreed. I packed a bag and stayed with my brother for a few weeks. The gut feeling. Even while I was gone, I still paid for everything. Our rent, utilities, her car note, the groceries. I wanted to give her the space she asked for, hoping it would bring her back. But something didn't sit right with me. Her energy changed. She stopped texting me good morning. She wouldn't answer my calls at night. Suddenly, this woman who once couldn't go a day without talking to me was now too tired or had an early meeting. Then one night, I came to the apartment to grab some files I forgot. She wasn't expecting me. She looked surprised when I walked in. The place was clean, but there were two wine glasses in the sink. I asked her about them. She said, "Oh, I had a friend over from work, just brainstorming some campaign ideas." I nodded, but I knew she was lying. Myra never had coworkers over to the apartment, ever. My gut was screaming at me. The phone. The next day, I came back while she was at a Pilates class and pretended I forgot my charger. Her iPad was unlocked on the kitchen counter, synced to her phone. I know I shouldn't have snooped, but screw it. When your whole marriage is crumbling and your wife is acting shady, you start asking questions. And there it was, a full thread between her and some dude named Jay on Instagram. The guy was some fitness lifestyle coach or influencer with shirtless pics and motivational captions. I scrolled back weeks, maybe even months, worth of flirty messages, late night wish you were here texts, and yes, explicit photos. But the worst part, one message from her read, "Last night was amazing. I can still feel you." That was it. That was the moment everything broke inside me. I felt like someone punched through my chest. Confrontation? I didn't say anything right away. I took screenshots, sent them to myself. I needed to be smart. I needed proof. Later that night, I called her and said I wanted to talk. I came over and sat her down. Calm as hell, I asked again, "Is there someone else?" She got defensive, said I was being paranoid. That's when I pulled out my phone and opened the screenshots. Her face went pale. She didn't even deny it. She just sat there, quiet. I said, "So this is what a finding yourself looks like? Jumping into bed with some Instagram trainer while I'm out here fighting for our marriage?" She started crying, said it was a mistake, that she didn't mean for it to go that far, that she was emotionally vulnerable. I told her to save it. I was done. I told her I wanted a divorce, the legal war. Here's where things got ugly. At first, she tried to talk me out of it. She sent long texts, voice notes, even a handwritten letter, which I never read. But I had made up my mind. I got a lawyer, a quiet, sharp woman named Dana who didn't play games. We filed immediately, citing infidelity and emotional abandonment. Then came Myra's lawyer, who tried every trick in the book. They wanted to mediate, claimed we should split everything 50-50ths, even though I paid for everything, even though she cheated, even though I had proof. Her lawyer argued that the break was mutual and that Myra had emotional grounds for stepping outside the marriage. That's when Dana pulled out the messages, timestamps, and the receipts for the hotel they used. Yep, I found those too. Google Maps history is a blessing and a curse. The look on Myra's lawyer's face was priceless. Suddenly their tone changed. Now they were offering a quiet settlement. In the end, I got to keep my investments, my car, and the apartment. She walked away with her personal belongings and a wake-up call. Aftermath. It's been about 4 months since everything finalized. I won't lie and say I'm fully healed. Some days I still wake up angry. Some nights I wonder if I missed something. But overall, I'm free. There's peace in knowing I stood up for myself. There's power in not begging someone to love me right. I've been back in the gym, been eating better, spending time with my nephews. My therapist told me I had to grieve the version of her I created in my head. That hit deep, because the woman I married, she didn't exist anymore. Why I'm writing? I'm writing this not because I want pity, but because I know I'm not alone. There are guys out here killing themselves emotionally to make a relationship work while their partner is already halfway out the door, or worse, in someone else's bed. I want the men who hear this to know you're not crazy. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Love shouldn't feel like you're the only one rowing the damn boat. To any dude whose woman says she needs a break, ask her why. Ask her who. And for God's sake, don't leave your apartment if you're married. That space talk is just the opening act for betrayal, more often than not. Thanks for giving men a voice on your channel. I hope you read this one. If not for me, then for the next guy who needs to hear it. Stay strong, fellas. Update from Aries. Healing after the betrayal. Hey, True Story. I appreciate you taking the time to read my last email. Seeing the comments, support, and how many people connected with my story meant more than you know. I told myself if the first part ever got read, I'd write back with an update. Not about her, but about me. Because after the dust settles, after the anger fades and the papers are signed, what's left is you. The person staring back in the mirror. And man, that guy, he needed a lot of work. This isn't a story about revenge or getting even. This is about healing, rebuilding, becoming someone I could be proud of again. So here it is, part 2, The Quiet After the Storm. The day after my divorce with Myra was finalized, I woke up in my brother's spare room, surrounded by boxes of stuff I didn't even remember packing. That silence felt louder than anything I'd ever heard. I didn't have her in my life anymore, but that didn't mean I felt better. In fact, it was the opposite. I felt hollow, like I had emotionally bled out for months, and now I was just numb. I thought about how much energy I spent trying to fix things, trying to be understanding, trying to fight for something she had already abandoned. And now, with all that effort gone and nothing to show for it, I asked myself, what now? Rock bottom isn't dramatic, it's quiet. People think hitting rock bottom means throwing a fit, going on a bender, breaking stuff. For me, it looked like eating fast food 3 times a day, ignoring calls from my mom, and sleeping until noon. It looked like watching old wedding videos just to torture myself and then hating myself for watching them. It looked like scrolling through her Instagram at 2 a.m., even though I already blocked her, and using a burner just to peek. It looked like staring at the gym bag by the door for 2 weeks without touching it. I was functioning, but I wasn't living. I was surviving. Barely. The first spark. The first spark came in the form of my nephew, CJ. He's 8. He walked into my room one afternoon, saw me sitting in the dark, and said, "Uncle Aries, you smell like McDonald's and sadness." I laughed for the first time in weeks. That kid didn't know what he was doing, but he pulled me out of my slump for a second. That's when I realized I didn't want to be that version of myself anymore. So I made a deal with myself. I didn't need to feel better overnight. I just needed to feel different. One small change at a time. The comeback plan. Here's what I did. Day by day, week by week. No guru talk, no 5 easy steps to healing. Just real painful, awkward growth. Therapy. I found a therapist through my job's EAP program. Her name's Cynthia. She didn't let me get away with blaming everything on Myra. She forced me to sit with my pain and unpack it. Why did I ignore the red flags? Why was I so willing to leave myself behind to save someone else? Therapy didn't fix me. It revealed me. That's even more powerful. Gym. I went back. It was hard at first. I felt weak, mentally and physically. But after a few weeks, I noticed I was sleeping better. I had more energy. And slowly, I was getting my strength back. Not just physically, but emotionally too. Nothing beats the clarity of a good workout when you're fighting your demons. Deleted the burners. I let go of the fake Instagram I was using to check her account. It was poison. Every time I looked, I reopened a wound. I said I was trying to heal, so I deleted it. Cold turkey. Hardest damn thing I did in those first few months. Journaling. I wrote letters to myself every morning. Some days were angry, some were hopeful, some were just messy. But I got the pain out. I stopped letting it rot inside of me. Boundaries. I stopped explaining myself to people who didn't deserve access to my pain. Myra tried to reach out again through a mutual friend. I shut that down. No more closure talks. No more reopening old files. If it's done, it's done. Learning who I am without her. One of the weirdest parts about divorce is realizing how much of your identity was tied to being someone's person. I didn't even know what kind of music I actually liked. I'd been listening to her playlists for years. So I started figuring out who Aries really was. Turns out I like jazz. I like hiking. I hate sushi. I only ate it because she loved it. I love old Western movies. I'm good at cooking when I actually try. And I have this weird love for puzzles, like the one 000 piece, take a week to finish kind. I became someone I recognized again. Dating again? Not yet. Let me be real. Women hit my DMs once they heard I was single. Some even tried to use emotional support as a way in. But I wasn't ready, not because of fear, but because I wanted to heal the right way. I needed to be a man who wasn't carrying bitterness into someone else's life. I'm not anti-love. I'm just not in a rush. I've built peace and I won't let just anyone disrupt it. What I'd tell my past self. If I could go back to the version of me that sat on that couch while she asked for a break, I wouldn't yell or shame him. I'd just sit next to him, put a hand on his shoulder and say, "You're not broken, you're just misaligned. And one day, this pain will become the foundation of your strength. Let her go. You're going to be okay." Because that's the truth. I am okay. What healing really feels like. Healing isn't sexy. It's not all affirmations and gym selfies. It's canceling plans because you feel triggered. It's deleting photos you swore you'd keep forever. It's walking past her favorite restaurant without crying. It's choosing peace over pettiness. It's realizing you're more than what happened to you. Now, I'm just living. These days, I wake up at 6 a.m., drink my coffee while the sun rises, and take walks with my dog. I reconnected with old friends. I'm planning a trip to Costa Rica, solo. I'm not waiting for someone to validate my worth anymore. I started volunteering with a group that helps newly divorced men adjust to single life. It's been powerful watching other guys come out the other side too. I even started writing more. Who knows, maybe there's a book in me one day. One last thing. To any man reading this who's fresh in the pain, maybe she just left, or maybe you just discovered the betrayal. I want to tell you something real. It won't feel like this forever. The anger will fade. The ache in your chest will soften. And one day, you'll wake up and realize you didn't think about her at all yesterday. That's the day you'll know you're healing. Not because she apologized, not because you got revenge, but because you chose you. Thank you again for giving men like me a place to speak our truth. I don't know where life will take me next, but I know I'm not afraid of it anymore. I'm no longer surviving. I'm living. And that's the biggest win I could have asked for. But I have to tell you this part. I ran into Myra, the woman who blew my world apart, the woman who cried about needing to find herself while secretly building a new fantasy life with some Instagram dude behind my back, the woman I thought I'd never heal from. And here's the wild part. I didn't feel a damn thing. No anxiety, no tight chest, no anger, just nothing. Peace, neutrality. That's when I knew I was finally free. Let me walk you through what happened, how I handled it, and everything that came after. It started like a normal Saturday. It was just a regular weekend. I was grabbing coffee with my friend Marcus downtown, catching up on life. We were at this open air cafe we used to hit back in the day. I hadn't been there in almost 2 years because it was one of her favorite places. But I felt strong enough to go back. We're mid-conversation, talking about his new job, and I notice his eyes shift behind me. His expression changes. Not dramatic, just off. He leans in and says under his breath, "Yo, don't freak out, but she's here." I already knew who he meant. The moment I turned around, I turned, expecting a jolt of adrenaline, maybe a stomach drop, but it never came. I just saw her, Myra. Same caramel skin, long curls, designer sunglasses on her head, but she looked different. Not physically, emotionally. You could see it in the way she moved. There was something off. She looked smaller, quieter, tense. She was walking with a woman I didn't recognize, laughing but in that performative way. You know the type, too loud, like she was trying to prove something to someone. She hadn't seen me yet, and in that moment, I had to make a decision. Do I leave or stay? For the first time in a long time, I stayed. I took a sip of my coffee, leaned back, and told Marcus, let her see me. Eye contact. 5 minutes later, it happened. She turned. Our eyes met. Her face changed immediately. I could see the shock, the panic, and something else behind it, regret. Her smile faded. She paused mid-step. Her friend noticed and turned too. I nodded, just a small one, not rude, not smug, just acknowledging. She didn't smile back. She looked frozen. She didn't walk over. She just stood there, and I could feel her debating it. I saw her take a step forward, then stop. Eventually, she turned and walked the other way. No drama, no words, just distance. The conversation that almost happened. Marcus asked if I would have talked to her if she came over. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe. But what would I have even said? There's nothing left to clarify. No closure conversation. No emotional debris that needs sweeping up. She made her choices. I made mine. And I already lived through the storm. There's nothing I could have said that would have changed anything. And nothing she could have said that would have mattered. Sometimes silence is the final conversation. Later that night, she texted. Yeah, she reached out. I hadn't heard from her in nearly 8 months. She sent a short message. Hey, didn't expect to see you today. You looked really good. I hope you're doing okay. I stared at that message for a while, not because it tempted me, but because of what it didn't make me feel. I wasn't excited. I wasn't curious. I wasn't even angry. I was just indifferent. So I didn't respond, because silence says everything she needs to know, reflecting on who I was versus who I am. That text was proof of something I already knew deep down. She never thought I'd move on. Not really. People like Myra expect you to stay stuck on them. They think your world will always orbit around their chaos. They count on your weakness. They feed on your loyalty. And they never imagine you could wake up one day and just be done. But I'm not that man anymore. I used to be desperate for answers. Now I realize the answers don't matter when the truth is already obvious. What I've learned the hard way. Closure is an inside job, waiting for an apology, an explanation, or a confession. Waste of time. Healing starts the moment you accept the truth and stop romanticizing the lie. Forgiveness doesn't mean access. I forgave her a long time ago, for myself, but that doesn't mean she gets to come back into my life just because she had a moment of nostalgia. Nah. Your glow up isn't for revenge. I didn't hit the gym to show her what she lost. I didn't level up to prove a point. I did it because I needed to find me. And now, I'm better because I chose me. Not in spite of her, but because I stopped choosing her. So where am I now? I moved into my own place, got promoted at work. I joined a boxing gym and started training seriously. I've made new friends, reconnected with old ones, and for the first time in years, I feel whole. I even took that solo trip to Costa Rica I talked about in part 2. That trip changed me. Being alone in a new country, waking up with no plan, no obligations, it reminded me how much peace there is in just being. I hiked, journaled, swam in waterfalls, and didn't check my phone for hours at a time. It felt like hitting a reset button on my soul. Am I dating? Yeah, I've started going on dates again. Slowly, cautiously. Not because I'm looking for a replacement or trying to fill a void, but because I'm ready to connect without needing to be rescued or to rescue someone. The first few dates were awkward. I kept waiting for red flags, But lately, I've met some really cool women. Nothing serious yet, but I'm learning to enjoy the process without pressure. I'm not jaded. I still believe in love. But next time, I'll love smarter. With boundaries, with self respect, with the knowledge that if someone asks for a break, I'll walk away instead of waiting for them to come back broken. A message for men like me. To any guy out there reading this who's in the middle of the storm, who just found out, who just moved out, who's staring at a half empty closet wondering what the hell happened, listen to me. You won't just survive this, you'll thrive. But only if you stop trying to win her back. Only if you stop making excuses for betrayal. Only if you choose you. Put down the phone. Stop checking her social. Stop asking mutual friends how she's doing. That's all dead weight now. You deserve better than being someone's backup plan. Final thoughts. Seeing Myra again didn't break me. It confirmed that I'm no longer haunted by the past. She's just a person now. Not my dream, not my regret, just a chapter I closed. And this new chapter, it's all about me. My peace, my purpose, my power. Thank you again for sharing these stories, for giving men like me a place to tell the truth, not the sugar-coated version, the real one. Until next time, Aries.